Hey guys, this is Patty B within the Holler. I got another firearm I'd like to share with y'all. This is the Brownells BRN-180 chambered in 223 Wylde. The BRN-180 is a gas-operated semi-automatic rifle that uses a short-stroke gas piston system with a rotating bolt. It's pretty much a modern interpretation of the original old-school Armalite AR-180. We'll go ahead and clear it, and looks good. Yeah, ever since Brownells introduced these a few years ago, I knew I'd have to get one at some point. You know, as a kid growing up in the 80s, watching movies, the Terminator, he used this in the first Terminator movie, and I just thought it always looked so cool. And I always thought if I had a chance to get one day, that I was going to try to buy one. And it's not an original, AR-180, but, it's still pretty cool. Brownells offers these in, I think, 3 different calibers, the 223 Wylde, 300 blackout, and 7.62 by 39, and with various barrel lengths. This is a 16-inch, but you can get them, I think, 10.5 inches as well. You can buy just the upper, and you can fit this on any AR-15 lower, or you can also buy their lower as well, which that's what I did, of course. Since it's short stroke gas piston and everything's contained up here, you don't have to have a buffer tube. So the advantage of that is, you can have a folding stock on it. Which to me, since I love the AR-180, I wanted to get it where I could get a folding stock on it for sure. But we'll hit some of the features on this. Back here, you got this is a Midwest Industries all aluminum side folding stock, which is pretty cool. All you got to do is push up, and she swings to the side. This thing's pretty secure. It doesn't wobble. It's a pretty nice stock. Only downside being all aluminum, temperature changes affect this. So super cold outside, that aluminum's going to get kind of cold on your cheek. But it's got some QD mounts right here. We'll hit the lower down here. We've got a billet lower, which is pretty much AR-15-ish. It just has kind of the look of the AR-180, but fire controls, bolt catch, bolt release, pretty darn similar to the AR-15. You do have a polymer dust cover here, mag release AR-15 style. Of course, it does use AR-15 style magazines, and you can use whatever fire control system and whatever pistol grip you want. I just threw stuff on here, from what I had. No T-handle. Your charging handles directly mounted inside of the bolt carrier there, which is pretty cool. So, your manual of arms would be a little more AK style, than an AR style. You've got a full-length rail all across the whole top here. I've got just a primary arms 1x6 LPVO mounted on it, but with this thing off, no optics, this thing weighs 6 pounds 12 ounces, so not too heavy. I do love these little budget primary arms optics. For the price you pay, they are pretty nice. You've got your aluminum forend out here, of course M-LOK all over it. The gas system is you've got a 2-position gas block, just for suppressed and unsuppressed. I haven't run the suppressed yet, but I will soon. And out here on the end, you've kind of got a repro of the original flash hider, solid on the bottom and slotted up top. A disassembly on this rifle, pretty simple. To remove the upper from the lower, AR-15 style, I've got 2 pins. We'll just take the rear out. We'll give you a look at the inside in here. Pull your recoil spring guide rod, comes right out. Take your carrier to the rear, get to that little circle notch, and you can remove your charging handle, and your bolt and carrier comes out. You can see it's kind of spring loaded in there. Disassembly on this, pretty simple. You've got a firing pin, retaining pin. Go ahead and pull it out. Just a little cotter pin like an AR-15. There's your firing pin. Rotate your cam. Remove it. And your bolt assembly comes out along with the spring that falls down. But yeah, there's your bolt. Definitely AR-15 style. To put it in is just the reverse. Stick your bolt inside the carrier. Get your cam pin to fit in. Get it lined up, which is hard to do on camera. There you go. Firing pin. And your firing pin, retaining pin. Slide it back in the upper. Get your charging handle. Get it back in that notch. Recoil spring guide rods. Slide those in, and there you go. Yeah, pretty darn easy, pretty darn simple. So I've had this for a few months, and I've put a couple hundred rounds through it, but we're going to take it outside today, ring some steel, and we'll come on in and give you our thoughts on it. So, all right, let's go do some shooting. All right, got our zero confirmed at 100. We're just gonna go straight to that 200-yard plate. Got the cheap stuff, Golden Tiger steel case ammo, but shouldn't be too hard at 200 yards with a 6-power optic. Yeah, not too hard. 12 by 20 plate at 200 yards. The 6-power optic isn't too awful hard. When you shoot this thing, the first thing you feel is the recoil impulse. It's just different than an AR-15 without the buffer tube back there. I don't know that it's any more than an AR-15, but it just certainly feels different. Just the recoil, whole thing just feels a little bit different. But this thing's slick as can be, shoots real smooth, a lot of fun to shoot. All right, back inside from shooting the BRN-180, and man, it was pretty cool. This thing definitely was a whole lot of fun to shoot. We'll go ahead and clear it real quick, make sure we're safe. And yeah, just a cool gun. Like I said, I grew up liking the AR-180, the original, and Brownells just made it a little better, made it a little more modern, because this thing's pretty cool. I feel like accuracy with this might have been a little bit, it might be a little less accurate than most of my AR-15s. It still shot pretty good, but it just seemed like it was slightly less accurate with the loads I used to, to get it sighted in. It wasn't terrible, but it really didn't want to stay below 3 inches, which is still more than good enough for combat accuracy, but not quite as good as your standard AR-15. But this thing shoots really well. Very little recoil, like all 5.56 rifles have. So just super pleasant to shoot. It's kind of neat because you have, the AR-180 style charging handle and all that, but then you have AR-15 style controls. So really your manual of arms, even though your charging handle is different, you really only use your charging handle to charge it at first, and then after that you're kind of just using this while you're running it. But yeah, I had a blast today. Yeah, I'd only put like maybe 200 rounds through it before today, and I put about 250 through it today because I was just having a good time. Zero malfunctions. Most of that was using cheap steel cased Golden Tiger. I did shoot some Federal XM193 just to see how this thing would group, but yeah, no malfunctions. Shot like a champ, and it was just a really good range day. So will I replace, AR-15s for home defense with the BRN-180? Probably not, but you absolutely could with this. The design of the AR-180 with the short stroke gas piston and a bolt and carrier design that have been borrowed and used by several other manufacturers in their rifles is more than proven to be a, reliable, durable, and accurate system. But probably not. I don't know. I'm just kind of more of a collector, so I just kind of wanted this just for what it is. I'll keep taking it out and shooting it just because I like it. I really didn't see any negatives with it. I guess the only little minorest of gripe I could ever have is this edge right here where the pick rail mounts for the stock is a little bit sharp, and you'd kind of cut your hand a little bit on it, but that's about as far as I can see as any negatives, you know, because this thing just runs. Controls are AR-15, which everybody loves, you know, minus the charging handle, which just gives you that AR-180 cool. And man, this thing was just a whole lot of fun to go out and shoot. And looking forward to putting a can on it. I've got a, you know, a can I want to put you run on this, and ATF Purgatory that hopefully will get out soon. So I'll do some suppressed shooting with this thing. But absolutely, absolutely impressed with this thing. Ran like a top and a whole lot of fun to shoot. So there you go, guys. Brownells BRN-180. Y'all have a nice day.